Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs, and today I have day 17 of my watercolor series. So let's jump right in. So as always, I'm using my Arches paper. I have it taped down to a hardboard, and I'm just going to swatch out my colors. So for the colors I used, because of course they're always fairly different than what the instructor gets to use, I have bright clear violet, crimson lake, orange, permanent yellow deep, sap green, and indigo, because I don't have Payne's gray. So that's what I use instead, because my indigo is very gray toned. It's not very blue toned. You'll see when I kind of swatch them out. And this is a class on Skillshare that I'm following. If you guys have seen any of the other paintings I've done, you'll know that. I'm just following along with this really fun class. And I kind of share them with you guys because it's always a bit interesting to see the learning process. And I think it's also kind of beneficial to see, like, if you guys saw my first couple to, now 17 in, and I've been doing some bookmarks and I've been, kind of experimenting with watercolors, it's because I'm getting the confidence from the class. So I do think it's really valuable to see someone starting a skill and then, middle of the skill, and then they've been doing the skill a while, that kind of thing. So that is why I record and share these with you guys. So we've started out with the background sketch. It's going to be a landscape because that is the class. And it's got a horizon line, which is the bottom of that straight line. And then the other line, I associate it to be trees, but it could be bushes, I guess. It's just kind of like a hedge. But I had a lot of fun with this painting because I live in northern British Columbia, Canada. It is winter, obviously, because it's December, and it was snowing when I was painting this. So the vibrant colors for me were just incredibly exciting to work with. I love vibrant colors. They're like my favorite thing ever. So I had a lot of fun painting this. And if you guys saw my last painting, it was actually a monochromatic painting in gray. And so that one I struggled with. This one I had a blast with. It was so much fun. So we're going to work in color order. So we've got the purple into the pink into the orange, and then the orange into the yellow, just because those are going to blend beautifully. And you did see that I am working wet on wet. I did a thin layer of water on the beginning of the painting, and then I'm just kind of going from there. And this, it's like a sunset. So I'm trying to create like an area that there's no paint or very, very little paint. I did actually have to go back in because my paint moved. I didn't record this because I caught it really quickly as I finished recording, but I did end up lifting a little bit of the color where that light yellow just went, because it got pretty much, it got like it was hidden. The color moved so much that I didn't have, even right now you can see that there's barely an area there that I have any kind of light yellow. So I am going to fix that, although sorry I didn't record it. All I did was put clean clear water on my brush and kind of add it to that area and then just gently remove a little bit of color. So that's all I did to kind of get that highlight back. Alternatively, you could just add white gouache. That would work too. I've done that in the past when I've struggled to, have the color sit there properly. So these are the clouds. If you guys have been following me from the beginning, you'll know that clouds in the beginning was probably one of the hardest things I tried to do. It's such a interesting mix between if your paper is still wet enough, if your paint is going to go on nicely, if you're going to get a shape you're happy with. Clouds were probably my nemesis for at least, 15 of these paintings. And there were even paintings throughout this that the instructor put clouds in and I chose not to, because I could not, I was so unhappy with them every time I added them. So I am gotten to a point now where I'm pretty happy with how the clouds go in. I kind of enjoy what they look like. So I have it's been like a learning curve thing, and the clouds were definitely my biggest struggle. Now we get to work on the ground area. So this is the sap green. I'm going to add, you're going to see when I do the hedges, I actually bring in some brown, which we didn't swatch. And that was just to go between the orange color you want for the highlight on the shrubs and the color, because we're going from orange to sap, well, not even sap green. We go to a darker green. We go from orange to this sap green and indigo mix into like some sap green. So you're going to see here in a second, because now I'm going to paint the hedges once this bottom is dry. And you do see me drying each layer in between so that they don't blend out, because they will. That's why I, kind of work area to area. This bottom, you could have done wet on wet, actually. We didn't. The instructor didn't do the wet bottom on wet on wet, but you could. We just added water. I always say we. I guess I mean me and the cats. I don't know, or me and the instructor, because she's painting along too. But yeah, so we're going to dry the area, and then we're going to work on the shrubs, and you'll see here what I mean. So you see that the yellow area is back. That is because I lifted some paint just to get that more sun looking shape. So then we're going to bring in that orange right around the sun to give you that like bright highlight on these kind of shrubs or trees, bushes, whatever they are. And I'm going to lose mine a little bit, to be honest. I wish I hadn't lost it quite as much as I do. Because here you're going to see we're going to bring in some indigo, and straight indigo, because we're creating like a very, very bright highlight and then a very, very dark shadow right together. And I brought in some brown. So I mixed raw sienna and burnt umber together to make kind of a lighter brown here. And I lost a lot of my highlight when I did this. So I'm a little bit bummed about that. I wish I had a little bit more highlight here. I tried to add it back in. It didn't really work, but that's okay. I still think the painting turned out stunning. I'm really happy with this one. I think it's one of my favorite of the series. But I mean, I still have 13, so we'll see how that goes. But I am pretty happy. But here you can see I'm trying to add it back in, and it's just not really working out for me. So I'm just going to move on and kind of just keep working on the tree shrub-ish area, and then creating a really dark shadow between the horizon line. And I'm going to assume that they're trees, because to me that's what they look like. They just look like a whole bunch of trees. So I'm just going to create a really dark line between the ground and the horizon line and these trees, and then kind of just drop color in. I do wish that I had blended out my horizon line a bit more, because there's no water there. Like if this was wet on wet, it would have moved on its own, but it isn't, right? So it doesn't move anywhere. And you'll see me struggle a little bit with that harsh line when I'm adding all of my greenery here to kind of try to create that shrub, tree bit, whatever you want to call it. So right here, when I'm like kind of painting that in, because there was no liquid there, it doesn't move. So I did find that was a little bit of a struggle for me. But again, you know what? Honestly, like nobody would know. I'm telling you guys. But if you just picked up this painting and looked at it, you'd just be like, oh, you have a dark horizon. Like it's fine. You wouldn't even think about it. But it's something when I'm trying to paint that can be a little bit frustrating. So I do, wish I had blended that out a little bit better here. Sorry about my head. I was trying to see if I could blend it out a touch and just get that variation of the line in there. And I do get it out a little bit. You can kind of see that it's a little better here. And then I also kind of tried to get more lights and darks so that you would think that like the sun was shining through, not the area that's like shadowed from that really good highlight. And you could go in with, I'm trying to stop a kitten from walking across the paint. That's why you see my hand keep going up there. She really, really wants to walk in the paint and or drink the paint water. I have a really fun time with Aqua every time I paint, just because she just has to be in every video. It's really, really funny. But yeah, so I kind of painted out those shrubs, kind of got the bottom to mix a little better on that horizon line. And then I was really happy with this. So I did seriously consider going in with my white gouache and just adding a more defined little sun, and then you would have had like the white sun, the yellow highlight, the orange sky, the pink sky, the purple sky. But I ended up not doing it just because I always go rogue every time I do a class. And I thought on this one I would just leave the painting as the instructor kind of showed it, so that you can see what you get from the class if you were ever interested. There is a link in my description for a month of Skillshare free. If you want to check that out, you can. I'm not sponsored. I don't get anything or anything. It's just a chance to try out a class if you want to check it out. I think that's a great way to, have a gander at, because there's so many classes on there. So I've been, of course, working through the watercolor ones, but there's some other ones I want to try as well. So we'll see where it goes. But But yeah, so I'm just going to remove the tape. And I think I did a great job on the borders on this one. If you see some of my earlier ones, when I taped it down to the board, they come off and they're pretty wonky. So I was pretty proud of my borders on this painting. But yeah, so that is the painting I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll leave me a like, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday. And there's only a few Christmas videos left, so hopefully you're going to check them out. See, here's Aqua having a look at my painting. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you again very soon. And if you watched all the way to the end, leave me your favorite, I don't know, whatever emoji makes you happy. Thank you guys so much. See you soon. Bye-bye.